I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. What a beautiful morning. It's not even 7 a.m. It's about 6:45 right now. The sky, the sun hasn't come up yet. It's just such a pretty time. The sky has this incredible pink and like powder blue, baby blue kind of thing going on. Like this thing. Anyhow, what a beautiful day. So, got back from the Fiery Food Festival in Albuquerque. One of the products I got there was from Round Rock Jelly and Company. This is their ghost pepper. Love the label. Really a cool jelly. Now I gotta tell you, I walked by these guys. It's just terrible. It's in spite of the fact that there were 100, almost 200 vendors, I'll bet you there were a handful I walked by and didn't even get a chance to talk to. Just stuff I did. It's terrible. Saw these guys on the last day. Saw them every day. Stopped and actually interacted with them on the last day. And I was with Tommy and Spanx. Foy had already left for the airport, so it was just the three of us. And I said, Tommy, I tasted it. I was like, you got to try this, Tommy. One thing that I think Tommy realized on this trip is that his tolerance, even though he thinks like I'm a lunatic and his brother's Johnny Scoville, but I'm telling you, he realized on this trip that his tolerance is a lot higher than most. He was trying Reaper stuff and, all this stuff that everybody else was like worried that it was going to be hot. And he was like, wow, it's not very hot. So that was kind of a cool thing. But anyway, I tasted this, and I was like, you got to taste this. And he tasted it, and he was like, wow. So he got a jar, I got a jar. And these guys are just very, very cool. Now, the thing about Round Rock is I used to live in Round Rock. And I told him, I was like, Round Rock is funny. I lived there. There was a Rudy's Barbecue. There may still be. I don't know. Right on the edge of Round Rock and Austin. And there was a road, as you were leaving Austin, heading towards Round Rock. Rudy's was on the left. It was like this dirt road, people. I'm pretty sure it was a dirt road at the time. I guarantee you it's not now. But you take a left. No, it was. They had just paved it. Take a left, and then right after the Rudy's Barbecue, that was the road I lived on. But anyway, I'm trying this today. Let me tell you a little bit about Round Rock Jelly and Company. I've got some funny things I'm going to read to you that really are funny. I can't wait to get your input. All right, so listen, first of all, I want you to check them out at jellyandcompany.com. All their socials will be in the description box. They are in Round Rock, people. They won a Scovie for this, by the way. This is a Scovie winner, which is really cool. They don't throw those things around for nothing. All right, so let me read you the ingredients here. We have pure cane sugar, apple cider vinegar, bell pepper, ghost pepper, powder, okay? Non-GMO citrus pectin, and does not, I repeat, does not contain allergens, which is good to know. But I'm going to review this for you guys now. If you guys are, I'm just telling you already, the reason I brought it home, okay? So I'm not going to pretend I don't know what this tastes like. This is one of the really spectacular jelly. Just unbelievable. So you're going to want to get some of this. Oh, the aroma. I did not smell this when I was at the booth. Oh. What makes this jelly is, believe it or not, isn't the ghost. It's the bell. From Round Rock Jelly and Company. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. I'm putting my spoon away because the jar is small, and I'll eat half of that jar right now. What makes this so good? You really get the flavor of the ghost pepper, and you get a little bit of a sting. Not a ton, but it's too hot for a non-chili head. But the sweetness and the flavor from the bell pepper is just, it pairs so perfectly with the Ghost. As soon as I go inside, oh, I left my coffee in there. Rats. I wanted a sip of coffee right now. I don't have my coffee. It's a drag. And I'm here like a half hour early for the sunrise. So unless I do a really long video, the sunrise isn't happening in this video. I could eat this whole jar. I do have 2 of them, but I'm gonna wait. This is so good. So a couple things I want to tell you about. A couple things of information you want to stick around for. I'm going to tell you some funny things that we all do as humans. Silly things and sometimes weird things that we all do. It's a funny list of stuff. But yesterday I worked out on this Yasul thing where it hurts to put my arms like this now with nothing in them. It's this machine where you on the slide. It's like the Total Gym that Chuck Norris has, but it's made by a different company. And I am so sore right here. But yesterday when I did 3 sets of 10, and on the last set, I was done. I stopped. I put the handles down, and I slid down, and I went to adjust the camera so I could look at it and talk for the end. I could barely hold my arms up in front of myself. So today I'm like really sore. I'm gonna take a break from that today. I'm gonna do that every other day. I ride every day on the bike, so that I'm gonna do every day. But I'm only gonna upload a video of that every other day. I'm gonna upload a video of the other one every other day. So it'll be a workout video every day. Now this weekend, don't forget Sunday, Thunder Bacon Burger. Thunder Bacon Burger. My man Lindy, this weekend here in Tucson. If you're around, please come out and say hello. We're going to have a meet and greet. He's created a couple special burgers, the Tommy Scoville burger and the Johnny Scoville burger. And that's very cool. I think and we're also going to have a bunch of really cool stuff from Blazing Foods and Tubes of Terror and Tubes of Terror 2.0. So if you want to come out for the meet and greet, it's going to be the Thunder Bacon Burger in Tucson Sunday. Now here, I want to tell you about the heat-wise. I said this would be too hot for a non-chili head. They just wouldn't enjoy the flavor. They could probably, yeah, they wouldn't like it. If you're a chili head, maybe a 5 or 6. Just incredible flavor, though. All right, so here are some things that we as humans all do. And some of them, I read the list, I was like, really? Some of them are like, yeah, I do that. But some of them are weird. So I want to read them to you. If you have something that you think that we all do, because I thought of a couple, but listen to this list. Number 1 is sleeping through alarms. We've all done it. Hitting the snooze button over and over is a battle many of us face each morning. It's a daily struggle between wanting a few more moments of rest and knowing we need to start the day. It's a universal fight with the alarm clock. It just shows how much we value our sleep, even if it's just a 10-minute increments. I am a weirdo about my sleep. You know what I do? This is, I don't know, this is bizarre. I think we all probably do this. I don't. I never ever sleep through a snooze. So that's something, but I have gone through stages in my life where I did that. And then I remember a stage where it was so bad I had to put the alarm on my desk, not near my bed. So when it went up off, I had to actually get out of bed and get up to turn it off. But one thing that I do, and I don't do it now because I'm a YouTuber and I have a pretty cool schedule, but back when I had a gig or a day job where I had to do, what I would do if I had to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, let's say I get up at 7, all right, I would set my alarm for 6, all right? The reason I would do that is so it would go off and I would look at the clock and know I had an hour left. I know this is stupid. The reason I did that was because if I didn't, I felt like the alarm got sprung on me. Like here I am comfortable, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the alarm came off. But if I set the alarm and it goes off, and I'm like, I got a whole another hour. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like a turbocharged, industrial strength snooze bar. Instead of going for 10 minutes, you're power snoozing that thing for an hour. So that was me. That was something I did, and I did that every day. Isn't that weird? All right, here's something that we all do. Pretending not to see someone we know. Like you see someone you know and you pretend you don't see them. Come on. We've all suddenly found our phones indefinitely fascinating, or become engrossed in something across the street. You know, you're like, oh, to avoid somebody you know, somebody you'd rather not chat with. This maneuver is often our go-to method for dodging awkward encounters, showing our sometimes introverted sides. This past week, it's funny that I'm bringing this up, because this past weekend, have you done that? We've all done it. This past weekend, I was at the Fiery Food Festival, and there was somebody in the festival, and as they walked, I was staying there with Tommy at the doorway, just leading out of the exit, and when this person was walking out, they started a conversation with somebody, and it looked really, I looked at Tommy, I'm like, did that not look natural to you? He's like, no. It was one of those situations, same thing. That was a conversation so that they didn't have to address someone they didn't want to address. It was pretty funny. But everybody does that. All right, so sneaking food when no one's looking. Like, who hasn't done that? The secret midnight snack, or the extra piece of cake that we nab when we think no one's watching, is a guilty pleasure many of us indulge in. It's those moments when our cravings win over our better judgment, proving that sometimes the heart or stomach just wants what it wants. I did that last night. Last night we had my mom makes these amazing Vermont baked beans, and she puts salt pork in it, and it's amazing. And yesterday she was making the beans. She's like, oh no, I put too much salt pork in. I looked at my brother, I'm like, is there any such thing as too much salt pork? It's like saying I put too much chocolate icing on the cake. Anyway, so last night, everybody had gone to bed, and there was a bunch of it left. And I had already brushed my teeth and everything, got up in the middle of the night, and powered down some beans. Stalking people on social media. We've all done it. Who hasn't done it? Who hasn't gone on a social media deep dive into somebody's profile, whether a crush or an ex or someone we're just curious about, scrolling through their posts, becoming a way to gather insight or simply pass the time, showcasing our curiosity about other lives. Isn't that why social media is there? I mean, isn't it? I wouldn't say I've stalked people. I've certainly looked into their lives and see who they are. Stalking is a powerful word. I don't know if that's accurate. I think we've all looked. I guess it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum-y thing. You know, like somebody's on the spectrum, like autism spectrum. I think we all are to a degree. It just depends where you are. I think as far as we're interested, like with the introduction of social media, don't we all have a little bit of that in us? That where we look into the lives of others? You know, I mean, we're in a time now where, like back in the day, you could just read about an article about somebody in a magazine, like People Magazine or Newsweek, or, you know, I know you don't know those, but there used to be magazines, and we would read about people. Paper, you turn the pages, and there'd be like pictures and articles, and back in the day, if somebody was in a movie or you'd follow somebody, you'd follow them that way. You wouldn't follow them, like look at their profile and look at who they're with and what they've done and Google them and stuff. So I think that while everybody does that, calling it stalking is a different story, because I have stalkers. And when you have a stalker, it's a different thing. Talking to ourselves, duh, like who doesn't do that? Talking to, through scenarios or practicing conversations out loud is more common than many of us may admit. It's a way to process thoughts or prepare for situations, showing that sometimes we are our own best conversational partners. I think we all have gone through the thing where you're like rehearsing something. But with me, the talking to myself, and I don't know, I guess, to me, it's almost like a monologue, like an internal monologue of what's going to happen, like what's going through my day. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what mine is. Imagining, this is a funny one, imagining elaborate scenarios. Do you do this? Who among us hasn't daydreamed, all right, that is the key word, daydreamed, about wild, intricate scenarios, from heroic adventures to dramatically confronting someone, like, oh, I'll tell him. We've all done it. These little mental movies not only entertain us, but they also help us escape reality for a bit, highlighting our creative and sometimes wishful thinking. I've done it. I had a friend named Mike. He did it. We had a conversation about that very thing once. Picking our nose. Nose maintenance. Of course you've done it. When tissue fails due to the job, many resort to this less than glamorous method. It's a habit born out of necessity, a reminder of our human and often icky nature. It's nose maintenance. Oftentimes, you know where we do it? In the car. How many times? Come on. We've all caught somebody like 2 knuckles deep, waiting for a light to turn green. Come on. And it's been you. It's been me. We've all been caught. We've all been the catcher. That's how it works. Re-wearing dirty clothes. This is a good one. The sniff test. The sniff test often determines whether an article of clothing gets a second outing without a wash. This practice speaks to our practical side and maybe a touch of laziness. In fact, I will tell you this. In college, most college guys would have 2 piles of dirty clothes. You have the dirty clothes and you have the pile of clothes you got to wash. The dirty clothes, you can get another day out of. Depending on what are you talking about. You maybe get 2 days out of. But the pile of dirty clothes that you need to wash, that's done. That's tapped out. But that's kind of how it works. All right. This is an interesting one. I saw, I'm like, how do I read this? Well, you know, we're human beings, and I'm just going to read this. This is one thing that we as humans do. Checking the toilet after you go. It's a quick look back into the toilet bowl post-use is sometimes something most do, but seldom discuss. So are we not ready to talk about that yet? Is that what's happening? So we all do it, but we're not ready to talk about it yet? I think we are. It's part curiosity, it's part health check, showcasing our inherent concern for our well-being. That's how this dude's chalking it up. It's a health check. Also, you want to make sure that you're leaving the bathroom in a suitable condition for someone behind you that may come in after you. I'm surprised they didn't mention that. Anyway, practicing awkward acceptance speeches. I will tell you this, I've never done this. I don't think I've ever done this. I read this through, I'm like, I don't think I've done this. Whether in the shower or mirror, envisioning ourselves receiving an award and thanking an adoring audience is common fantasy. It reveals our desire for recognition and success and perhaps our dramatic flair. I have never done that. Have you done that? Tell me the truth. I don't think a lot, maybe it's me. I don't think you all done that. Have you had it I just want to thank the producers, the director. Have you done that? I have never done that ever in my life. Ever. And even after reading that, I haven't done it. It's not like, okay, let me try it on. I haven't done that. Have you done that? Avoiding texts or phone calls. Duh. There used to be a joke. Like, I'll see you, not if I see you first. It's like when I remember, here's the deal. Most of you guys watching this, there's going to be some people my age that will say, I remember that. A lot of people watching us won't remember a day without one of these, which means there was always a way to leave a message, always a way to get a hold of somebody. I'm of a different generation. When I was a kid, you got dressed, there was a lot less stuff in your pockets when you went outside in the morning. You just walked out with lint, maybe $1 in your pocket, your wallet, and that was it. You didn't have a cell phone. You didn't care about it. So there weren't texts to avoid. There wasn't any of that. Excuse me, there was no text to avoid. But you'd come home and I remember when people call you, they say, I call you. I say, I wasn't home. We didn't even have an answering machine yet. They didn't have those yet. So if you didn't feel like talking to somebody, the phone would ring, you just wouldn't answer it. You know what I mean? Or you say to somebody, if it's me, I'll call, let it ring once, hang up, and I'll call back. That was the code. That's how he knew it was. I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'll let it ring once, I'll stop, and I'll call back. If you've done that, I'm surprised no one's, you know what? Let's talk, wait, that's the one that I'm going to add. If you're old enough where you've called somebody, hung up, and call it back again to let them know it's you, let me know in the comments. Using items as a microphone, like a hairdryer or a fork or a spoon, like you're singing in a band, doing a little air band action. We've all done it. Singing into a makeshift microphone is a testament to our love of music and performance, a playful act that reconnects us with carefree, imaginative sides. We've all done it. Pretending to text in an awkward situation. We sort of talked about that earlier, like somebody's across the street, you're like, oh, because you don't want to talk to them. We've all done it. I think this is the last one. There's a few, but this is gonna be the last one that I do today. We'll do another one tomorrow. This is a great one. Sniffing our own body odor. A Smelfie. Smelfie, they call it. The discreet underarm check is a universal act of self-awareness, ensuring that we're not the source of any unpleasant smells. It highlights our concern for personal hygiene and social acceptability. Man, I'll tell you what, aren't those funny? Those are funny things things we all do. But really, I never did the. I want to thank everybody, the Academy. That to me is silly. Round Rock Jelly and Company, Ghost Pepper Jelly. This is so good. I'm gonna go ahead and have an English muffin or a piece of toast. But if they're in the description box, I want you to put in the comment section what weird things you think. There's more. I have a list. There's more coming. But put in the list if you think there's something we all do. That's your homework in the comment section from everybody. If you've watched this, I want you to think of something you think we all do and put it in the comment section. I'm going to pick them and read them. You guys are awesome. So Round Rock Jelly and Company in the description box right there is Johnny Scoville Jr. That's my son. Please go check his channel out. He's great. Right here is Tommy Scoville, my brother, the lifeboat. Right there are challenges. Right here is Pepperology for all the new people. I love you guys. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this was. I could wait for another, like, how much time? Nah, it's another 10 minutes. All right, guys. I'm Johnny Scoville. This was Chase the